Okay, I'm working on the outside warehouses outside of town, and I've got one more. One isn't specifically a warehouse. It is a sort of office building, and it has a similar setup to an office building that's in Muldraugh. In fact, the two are pretty much almost identical. See how many there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 parking spots. Should be enough. May need to alter this one since this one's a little bit. It's off by 2. Make. No, you should make 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10. That's 4 of them. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Based on how everything is set up, I probably should use this one. Okay, there's another side to this parking lot as well, and that is simply the one opposite to this, and the building is on the other side of those parking spots. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8. And what throws it off is that 10 blocks are a little bit wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. I think might do it. But I may need to adjust this as well. In truth, right, this right here should be lined up with this. What I mean by that is somewhat like this. So I think I'll just push it back just a little bit. Actually, no, it's by 2. Not just by 1. So maybe here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, it works for 6. So it's not too bad. I still might move it out by 2 of them and make an 8 block pathway down the middle. Fortunately, this isn't too bad of a fix. Parking lot for this one is fairly small compared to the others. And interesting enough, it's small compared to the use of the building. With it's surprising that the parking lot is so small given that there's basically offices here. It's a single story structure, although there is a set of stairs that leads to the roof and a small building on the roof, or roof access I should say. No, I made a mistake. Sometimes it's easy to get ahead of yourself. And this will just expand this middle area out by 2 to make it a little bit better looking, I believe. Okay, so that takes care of the parking lot for the most part. fairly long building. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 offices. Well, one of them has 2 rooms in it. A storage room and 2 bathrooms. One, two, three, 4. So I was a little bit off on this side right here. But that's easy to fix. One, two, three, 4. There's a window. I need to clear this out. About 4 inward. About right here. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there is stairs about right here leading up to the roof access, which is basically a small room on the roof that opens up to the roof itself. And the front door of the building is right here, although it could be argued that it has 2 front doors. One of them a little bit more grander than the other. And the only difference there is one has 2 large window panes instead of just one. This one being translated into 2 right here. Two glass doors right here. Window pane here. Okay, one office down. We have a window right here. Next office is roughly here. With a door here, window next to it. It's hard to tell from looking at this thing what type of offices they are. One, two, three, four, five, six, maybe. Window here to office on this side. This one has several partitions breaking up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where the desks are. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Window here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second window here for this office. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And basically what I'm using to judge it is by looking at the various marks in the concrete, because basically it's a repeating pattern. Fortunately in this case there are marks that are right next to the building that allow me to pretty much estimate how long these walls should be. And it's easier to do this on some sides than others, which is why I switched over to this side. This rather than working inward. And I can use this side to judge exactly where the walls on the other side should be. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4. Actually, should be 6, not 8. 4, 5, 6. 4. And I can always adjust this as needed. If it looks just a little bit off. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4. These empty blocks right here represent doors. Okay, so now I've got to the other side. The other main door is around this area right here. Three, four, five, six. And this could be the true main entrance, although as I said, on the other side over there it's a pretty decent entrance, and it's also closer to where the parking spots are. Although this area right here is pretty open, and there aren't any official parking spots, but there are plenty of places that could be used to park right here in this area, or marked off areas for parking spots. Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Might move this over by 1. 2, 3. It ends up being by 2 on this side. Okay, that works. Two, three, 4. Window here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. Window here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The office in this area right here has been abandoned, so there's just mostly trash on the inside of this one. door right here with a window next to it leading into this abandoned office. Two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where one of the offices has 2 rooms to it. One of them right here, with the second interior office access through the first one right here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. With a window next to it. As most of the offices along this side, what's left is storage room right here, and also the bathrooms working from the back side. And I'll just adjust this wall right here as needed to set out the pattern. There's also a back door right here on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the door leading to the hallway were in rough alignment, with most of the storage being on this side. Shelves on the wall and also shelves in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. 3, 4, 5, 6. One of the bathrooms right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this leaves 2 offices in this small area right here. 2, 3, 4. Window roughly here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this should be how big this office is. Not huge, but decently nice. With a larger office right next to it. Okay, now to place in the floors. I'm going to use white terracotta for the hallways. And that also extends to this stairway right here. One thing that slightly throws us off just a little bit is the walls. The stairs are a little bit larger than what they should be, but that is also to keep it from being this one block wide. I haven't really used spruce for the frames in here, so I might use that for the floors, since the floors in most of these offices are brown carpet, and the spruce would look a little bit better. This will have somewhat of the same look, although it'll have a wooden look instead of a carpet look, but it'll still look nice, I think. Okay, the flooring is coming in rather well. think I'll use white wool for the 2 bathrooms and stone for the storage room. Okay, one more office, and then I'll place in the floor for the bathrooms. just using white tile in the bathrooms simply because it's, well, there's white wool in the bathroom simply because it looks like tile in the city texture pack. Using a different texture pack will, of course, change how this build looks. Two more to add. And that is a small walkway around the back. And what I might do is alter the parking lot just a little bit to move it backwards. Not moving really the parking spots, but just for the most part just moving, adding two to the parking spot on the end, which should have been a little bit larger, and I made it a little bit smaller, or at least two. And this won't be a problem to do the addition. And part of the reason why this ended up here is because of some deviations that appeared while placing the plan for this building in. So it's going to be a slight alteration of 3, and as I said, this is not a problem for this. The last parking spot on the end is a little bit bigger on the Project Zomboid map. Let's see here. I'm working on a build of the game Project Zomboid, which can be found on Steam, and trying to translate it as best I can into Minecraft. I've been translating a one block in Project Zomboid, and Project Zomboid is an isometric zombie apocalypse game. Anyway, I'm translating one block of in Project Zomboid to a 4x4 pattern, such as this right here in Minecraft, and that is to help keep the distortions that appear, because I'm working with a meter thick block at a minimum in Minecraft. I can't make the walls any thinner than that. So that means the translation is there to keep smaller rooms and excuse me, and to keep certain hallways in this building. It helps protect the stairway, which might have been just one block in here, meaning the stairway to the ceiling would have been this wide. So instead of that, it's right here, but this creates a distortion, a meter distortion on both sides. So what I'm having to do is to keep that in check by alternate in one direction or the other, and help try to balance everything out. I'll have enough time at the moment to at least place in part of this and to get in the framework or the pattern for this in. I made one mistake here. The sidewalk to the front of this building right here, main entrance. This one has two main entrances, well, two fairly what could almost be interpreted as main entrances. Two rather big entrances. Anyway, this one I think you could count as the main one. It's a bit wider. There aren't any marked off parking spots in this area, but there are quite a few places where I live where parking spots are like that. It's just park wherever. But that could just be a rural thing, because I live way out in the country, so. Alright, once I get this line in, I'll do a short flyover to show how the pattern of this building is. Each of the places where there is spruce blocks are offices. Some of the offices are fairly big, that being this office right here, being I think the largest of them, but each of them are fairly nice. Make sure I've got all the windows in. There's one I need to place in. About right here. And one of the offices has 2 rooms instead of 1. This one probably being one of the nicer ones right here. And this one's useful simply because this could be used as a partial place to put a bed while you're working in areas, or since basically there's one way in, although you could use a sledgehammer to break a wall on this side and escape. But it's less there's no way for a zombie to get in by breaking in the window. If they start hitting on the doors, it takes a lot longer for a zombie to break through a door. So in other words, and not only that, but hitting a door will wake up your character, most likely. And so that'll give you time to escape out through this way. But the only way you can do that is if you have a sledgehammer in the game to break down one of these walls. Usually it's not a good idea to stay on the first floor. But fortunately, in this case, there's a stairway right here that allows you to access to the roof. And this isn't to say that zombies won't go up the stairways here, but unless they have a specific reason to do so, if you were to set up say a shack right here, would be fairly certain that zombies probably aren't going to get up to you. But again, this is not completely certain. And this is all I have time for the moment. I might stream a little bit later, but I just wanted to get this pattern in. to show exactly how this... Well, this is part of the factory area, but not all these are factories or warehouses. One right over here is and I still need to fill in the parking lot right here. But there's a garage right here, car repair shop. And there's not any lights in it at the moment, but it has approximations for car lifts. Not functional, just for looks. We have an interior office. Being right here. Basically a shop. You could easily set up a shop if you were to use this as a server map. And there'll be two versions of this as well. One empty one that people can pretty much decorate however they want, and also a fully decorated one depending upon what people are looking for. Some areas like this right here are going to be filled in, and I have been using gray carpet to replicate parking lots. And this mostly, there's one example over here why you do this. In some cases there's damage to the roads, and this is so basically how I simulate the damage is to use this right here. Use this pattern. I either use stone or andesite depending upon how much damage there is there. Andesite looking like this right here in the city texture pack. And this also, in using this pattern as opposed to using wool blocks, gives this small little lip right here, which makes it look like everything's indented in and really been damaged rather than looking like the entire thing is flush. And using this method as well also benefits. Here's a more damaged one right here. Anyway, using this is a benefit because what it means is that if this were done in a snow biome, snow won't accumulate on carpet blocks. Because what happens is when snow accumulates on a regular block, it basically has something it can build on. Carpet, however, is not a solid block, it's a semi-solid block. What this means is that your character walks through the block that it occupies, but you can move through the block itself, similar to air blocks, which are not solid at all. You're walking through two different blocks at the same time when you move in Minecraft. And this is somewhat helpful when you're building, because your character occupies two blocks. When using these carpet, this carpet occupies the entire block. So if you build on it, that's why it looks like this carpet is floating, because this carpet right here occupies the block even if you can walk in it. And snow doesn't accumulate because it can't. It sees a semi-solid block as the same thing as air. So in other words, what it does there is it asks, is there anything below it? And since basically it's hitting something that acts as a solid block but isn't a solid block, then the if statement is basically cut off. So there's nothing for snow to actually accumulate on or to generate on. And this happens with all the other semi-solid blocks. And this is why snow doesn't accumulate on semi-solid blocks, whereas the accumulate on the solid blocks, because basically it's the computer or the programming is likely saying it's a solid block, so there's no need for another if statement, and I can't put anything here, which is the essence of that. Okay, next time I stream Project Zomboid, I'm going to be building up the walls and placing the doors, also the stairway right here, and completing this office building. And not only that, but also fixing this area right here, which I'll do that before I end the stream. But this will give a good idea of how it is going to look, even if it's not really built in just yet. So thank you very much for watching, and that is it for now.